Well, good evening, one and all. It's time once again for Super League Raw Weekly. Good evening, Greg. How are you?
I'm very well, sir. How are you?
Very, very well indeed. Just another
Good news.
small week in Super League yet
Yep.
again. Plenty to discuss this week. As always, welcome everybody. Before we do, let's get the announcement out of the way. 4,725 members now at the Fans Forum. Fantastic support, as always. That in the last month, 513 people have
Wow.
Super League Raw. Thank you, everybody, indeed.
Thank you very much.
Right now, share. You're on Facebook, you're watching. Share this show with your friends. Do it now. Let's get more the merrier. Couple of shout outs to our YouTube gang on a Wednesday morning, 9 o'clock on the replay. Paul Akula, Paul Francis, Neil Wilcock, Kev Worrell. Good morning it'll be to you by the time you see this. Always an absolute pleasure to have you in on a Wednesday morning. In the chat, we've already got Alan John Kane. Good evening, sir. Paul Sanderson, Ryan Birch, the Ryan Birch, Alan Clegg, David Wright, Steph Sale, as always, Kieran Unsworth, Peter Robinson. They're all flying in. Good evening, one and all. So let's get through some news, as we always do. To start, the show, we'll pick one each. I'll start off with... where should we start? Jake Clifford. Let's start off there. All but confirmed that Jake Clifford will be returning to the NRL at the end of the season to the Queensland, to North Queensland Cowboys. Massive blow this for the Black and Whites, and a massive blow for Super League. Just one season.
I think so. Yeah. He's been all the stars up on Humberside, and I'm quite sorry to see the back of him. You know, he's not a Warrington player, but you know, we need superstars like that in the game, and I think he had the potential to do a lot of good things if he's hung around for 2 or 3 years. I just feel sorry for the Hull fans. You know, there are several rumours flying around this week that the NRL is sniffing around certain players in Super League, which, when you look at it, can only be good for Super League.
Well, it shows we've got quality players.
We've got quality players. You know, Brodie Croft being one of those players that NRL is sniffing around at this moment in time.
West Tigers, that one, isn't it?
Yeah. It just shows that Salford were quite astute in signing him up for so long.
Well, I think it just guarantees them a transfer fee.
Well, this is it. Yeah, that's astute in the fact they'll get money for him rather than losing him on a free. So, I mean, I'd be sorry to see both of those drop out the competition. But then again, hopefully it opens up for more young talent coming through from academies and reserves.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely.
I think should be the way forward.
And of course, the trilogy in that would be, you know, I mean, it'd be bad enough to lose Clifford if we lost Croft. And then, of course, Ipape being linked to St. George as well. I think Lee pretty confident that they're going to keep hold of Ipape. But yeah, I mean, if all three of them are not in the comp next year, that'd be an absolute crying shame, wouldn't it?
I think that would be a tragedy for Lee as well. He started off really slow.
Yeah.
But Ipape, the last few months, has been outstanding for them.
Unplayable, sir.
Yeah, and also Lussick as well from Saints.
Yeah, to the Eagles.
He's already done a stint, hasn't he, in the NRL, where he went from Salford.
Correct, he did. That's where Saints got him from.
Yeah, if that's the case, then again the Clark to Saints rumour will start gathering pace, I would have thought. And another. Yeah. Well, I mean, Wellens has come out and poured cold water on the Lussick one. Good, Ryan Birch in the chat already. He said he'd be worried if he was an FC fan with the likes of Griffin, Clifford, Swift, obviously, and Satay leaving. I wouldn't be too worried about that. Tony Smith is a very astute coach. Josh Griffin been at the FC since 2017, played 110 times, scored 34 tries. What we know, Smith did this at Warrington. He went into the club. He got rid of high-profile players that were just not disciplined enough for a Tony Smith squad. Griffin, unfortunately, appears to have been the sacrificial lamb, the one that he's put the marker on to say to the boys in the dressing room, there's only one leader here, boys. Yeah, as you say, did it with Gleeson at Warrington, did it with a couple of others. It was particularly brutal to Hodgson, not for his disciplinary problems, but for his fitness problems towards the end of Hodgson's career with us. And Savelio as well, rumoured that he might be.
Well, he's off to Catalan, isn't he?
Yeah. Not a rumour, he's going to Catalan.
Yeah, Catalan,
you know, Savelli on his day is an absolutely fantastic player.
Yeah.
But as you say, Tony Smith,
wouldn't be too worried if I was Hull fans, because Tony
No.
Smith, I'll pull something out of the bag.
Well,
Griffin going to Wakefield, that must have Castleford fans a little bit jittery.
Well, I mean, look, we like Josh Griffin.
Mm.
Griffin on the field of play. Yeah, he had a bit of a brain explosion in the Challenge Cup, but bottom line is Griffin has got quality. There's no doubt about that. He's a
solid player.
With Tanguy Noah being out at the moment for Wakefield, that's a good acquisition for the Pats.
Yeah. Does it mean Castleford are looking over the shoulder even more?
Well, on that note, the 20th of August game has been brought forward today to the 18th of August. That is going to be on the TV, Castleford against Wakey. I mean, if that is all square at that point, that is going to be like £1 million game on its own, isn't it? That's a massive game.
That's going to be box office viewing.
Yeah.
It really is.
For
all the wrong reasons if you're a Waking Cast fan.
But great if you're a neutral, mate. Ian Judson in the chat saying he thinks Texoy will be put into the halves with Clifford going, Litton at fullback. Litton at fullback, no dramas with that. Yeah. I mean, Texoy, Clifford came at the same time. I think Clifford's a far better player than Hoy. Hoy stays at Hull. Can't see Hoy being poached. No, I can't. Can you?
Not on this season's form. No, but if he does a Clifford next season, then maybe. No, it's you don't know who they're looking for and for what reasons.
You don't.
But it's good in a way that our players, even if they are Australian players, are being kind of lured back to the NRL, and it's sad that we're losing the talent in another way, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, there's always comings and goings. I mean, Warrington confirmed Fitzgibbon, quality player coming the other way. So, you know, it's one of those. It's trading season. It's going to be interesting. Good evening to Martin Osborne, Graham Parrish with us as always. Michael Bolton. Good evening, Sir Andrew Cooper, Dale Robb also with us. Plenty coming in. Nick Fairbrother as well. Good evening, everybody that's in there. Staying with Hull. Finally, former player didn't really play with that great at Hull FC, but Josh Reynolds, a tearful Josh Reynolds announced his retirement this morning. Saw it on NRL 360. Obviously had a far better career in the NRL than he did in and you talk about mental health and you talk about over here you've got the you've got many. Is it the Tackle It campaign over here? You've got many good campaigns over here for ex-rugby league players that looked after. I was a bit concerned for Josh Reynolds in that interview. He's going to take some transition and he's going to need a lot of help and support, I think.
I'm sure the Aussies have got things in place. In fact, I'd be very, very surprised if they didn't. All ex-pros in whatever sport say it's such a massive shock to the system not to be sat in that dressing room every week and not to be training every day. You can understand how it does affect your mental health, and hopefully there'll be lots of eyes watching him. Guiding through. He is quite an emotional, on the edge player.
Absolutely.
Through watching him, you can tell he plays on his emotions. So, I'm sure. I'm hopefully there'll be somebody keeping an eye on him.
Absolutely, mate. Bad news coming out of Salford. Callum Watkins potentially out for the season. Jordan Turner at Cass also potentially out for the Turner. They're two big losses for both sides. Without doubt. And I think we're at that point now, aren't we, in the season where when injuries come, they are potential season-ending injuries because, we're rapidly coming down to the business end of the season, aren't we?
We are. And you've got to feel for Castleford, especially in the predicament they're in. Salford always seem to be able to overcome their injury issues and always seem to be quite strong despite the injury issues. So I've not got so much fear for Salford, but I think if I was a Cass fan, I would be concerned.
I've got massive fears for Salford. I really have. Really have. I think Sneed picked up an injury at the way. I mean, we'll look at the highlights in a minute, but Sneed couldn't goal kick, and goal kicking lost them that game against Leeds. Theirs kicking was the reason why they lost it. Sneed out for a period of time. Watkins has been quality over the last two.
It's been superb, Watkins, last two seasons.
Ack is only just back. Croft, Briley's been out with HIA. I just think I've got a bad feeling, and with Leeds doing what Leeds do.
I think they're in more danger of dropping out the top six and being relegated, though. I mean,
they're nowhere near that.
I think Castleford have got. I think they might be feeling like a few Warrington fans were feeling this time last year.
Absolutely.
It's not a nice feeling, I can tell you.
It's not. It's not. I had to laugh speaking about Castleford. Andy last doing it, having a Graham Taylor moment. I remember Graham Taylor when he was Aston Villa.
Do I not like that?
Yeah, when he was in. I think he was Aston Villa manager. He was down at half time in an FA Cup game, and he said to his players, "You got us into this mess. You get us out of it. We know what happened." Taylor got sacked, and he went out the cup. So not probably the best quote to ever use that one, Mr. Last. I have to say. Sione Matautia being rumoured that he's going to sign a contract extension with St. Helens.
Yes, seen that today.
Yeah,
seen that today. Good news. I think so. He's a solid performer. He's solid, even spectacular, and that's not in any way disrespectful to him. He just does a job and does it well. And the type of player, every team needs, no matter what sport it is.
Yeah, no.
Toby King is going to be returning, not this season, as I was told earlier this year. We'll be back next year to Warrington, so that could be very, very interesting. Mikey Lewis is out with an injury.
Yeah, Lewis. I mean, they've got big problems. Lynette, Mikey Lewis is out. Lynette's out. I think they've got another 2 or 3. Good news for them, though. Obviously, Schneider should debut. And
seen quite a bit of him. He seems quite a talented player.
Well, Jez Litton's come out and said in training he's been very impressive indeed. Also, Batchelor may be back as well, albeit I think they might just wait until the semi-final for Batchelor if it was a betting man. Matt Lodge, did we mention Matt Lodge? Matt Lodge is staying in the NRL. He's gone to Manly. So
and the Luke Thompson saga seems to drag on again with Wigan being put in the frame again for him.
Thompson
4-year deal.
He'll show up somewhere, Thompson, won't he, at some point? You know, but hey, there you go. Anything else? That's a lot of news that we've crammed into. We've crammed that in really well, I have to say. Anything else?
I think Josh Ralph might be going to Leeds from Toulouse, the Welsh international.
Yeah, saw that.
And I think has it been? It's not been confirmed, but I'm not. Well, it might have been. I don't know, but Farge to Catalan. That's
that looks like it's happening.
That looks like that's going to happen.
Watson's tone after the Catalan game was one of he's going, I think. That'll be interesting. But then again, you know, did they need him? The way Lolohea and the way that Russell played at the weekend, did they need him? We've said all season they've got too many in those positions.
Well, does it open up a place for Connor if that's the case? If Farge got you'd think it would, wouldn't you? Because he's no matter what you think of him, he's too good to be sat on the bench or played in the reserves.
Absolutely. Well, 100%, mate.
Imagine playing in the reserves against Huddersfield and Jake Connors in the lineup.
Well, but you'd enjoy that, wouldn't you?
It'd certainly be a challenge.
Yeah, exactly. You'd enjoy it. And considering that some of those, and this is the romance of sport, isn't it? Some of those reserve players will never play Super League Rugby League. So the fact that they've gone up against Jake Connor, who, love him or hate him, you know, he's an established quality Super League player. They can always say that, you know, I played against Jake Connor, which is a nice thing.
Yeah.
A nice thing. Right, should we see some tries?
I think we should.
There's some absolute beauties on the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't mind me saying. Ladies and gentlemen, the tries of round number 18. Sit back, get the popcorn, and enjoy these little beauties. Here we go. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why it is the best game on earth, without any doubt whatsoever. What a sport this is.
I wish I could have only seen them all, Dave.
Did you not see him?
No.
Why?
I don't know. It was just your face smiling back at me.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
I don't know. I did send by the magic of text message. I did message you to say.
Mate. Oh,
so I don't know.
Oh, everybody, my apologies. Should we do it again?
maybe it was just me. I don't know.
I think it might have been. Anyway, not to worry. Right, ladies and gentlemen, do apologise about that. We have Gremlins. We've got to do them again. Anyway. So I watched them. I get the pleasure of seeing them all again.
It, Dave.
Outstanding is that. Right, here we go. Let's do it. Let's see if we can get them on the screen this time. Here we go. Right, time for tries of the week. Here they come. Right.
today.
If at first you don't succeed, try again. Like I was saying, the greatest game on earth. Oh, yes, outstanding stuff. Absolutely sensational tries there this week.
Yeah.
Just everything about Marshall with his cheeky snap, Swift there. Oh, lovely little side
Swift step was outstanding.
Beautiful.
Absolutely
stuff.
outstanding.
Absolutely lovely. McQueen's line, the way he backed up Lala
for a second rower, that was
outstanding.
Outstanding pace.
Yeah, Lachlan Lamb, a moan through the gap, little ball to Asiata back inside for Lamb.
Yeah. And Johnny Lomax receiving that ball for the St Helens quarterback to go under the sticks.
Right,
that was the only one that wasn't.
It weren't as bad as the first, but I'm on the fence with that one. But in terms of the first one, which we'll see in a minute, absolutely embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing.
We need to clear up this week that St Helens are not changed their name to St Helens 49ers for next season. We do need to clear that rumour up straight away.
Oh right, well,
but my favourite try, and yes, I'm biased, but it's quite possibly our try this season, Warrington's try this season. Matt Duffy's absolutely superb.
A lot of love in the chat as well. A lot of love in the chat for that.
That has got to be so far our try this season.
100%.
And Ben Curry had his best game for quite a while on was it Friday night? Friday night.
Curry's in good form. He's in good form.
Anyway, we should discuss all of that.
We will in a moment when we get to the highlights. But before we get to the highlights, when we had Steph Sale on last time, after we'd finished the show, we had a little chat. With Steph. Good evening, Steph. Good evening, Mrs. Sale. And we talked about loose forwards, and we've actually come into a little bit of criticism here at Super League Broad. We're being a bit harsh on Morgan Knowles. We're not being harsh on Morgan Knowles. We think Morgan Knowles is a quality player. However, he's nowhere near the best loose forward in Super League. He wasn't last year. Yates and Westerman, and we proved that at the end of the season with graphics and
with
a lot of analysis.
Yeah,
and we're about to prove it again. Okay, so St. Helens fans, you might just want to go and have a cup of tea because you're not going to like
this. Well, the thing is, before we go into this bit, even the great John Wilkins said that Saints look better with Bell at loose forward than they did with Knowles a couple of weeks ago.
100%.
So it's nothing personal against Morgan Knowles.
It's nothing personal. Knowles is a quality player, mate. We both like Morgan Knowles.
Yeah, we do. He's a good player.
We do. He's a good player. However, let's get into some analysis. So we were chatting with Steph about this, and he said, "Why don't you put a graphic together?" So I said, "Okay, we'll put a graphic together." Ladies and gentlemen, this is this season. It ain't even close. Now, for the eagle-eyed amongst you, we'll start at the top. Greg, obviously, Mr. Knowles has not played as many games. That's because of his indiscretions.
Yes,
him straight away. As you can see, neither Asiata or Knowles have scored a try. Cameron Smith, 7. And this actually might surprise some Leaf fans as well, how well Cameron Smith is actually playing when you look at these stats. Try assists, 5 for Asiata, 4 for Smith. Yes, that is a 0 next to Morgan Knowles. Tackle bust, 22 for Asiata, 57 for Smith, 5 for Knowles. We'll double Knowles. We'll take him to 20 games. That's what he's on track for. He'd still be a million miles behind him. Clean break. 2 for Asiata, 7 for Smith, double Knowles. He's still only level with Asiata. Look at the tackles per game. Look at the offloads. Errors, okay, he makes less errors. Fair play to the lad, no issue with that. Carries per game, no contest. Meters per game, no contest. Morgan Knowles, I do not get this fascination that Sky have that other journalists have. Morgan Knowles is nowhere near John Asiata and Cameron Smith. And, you know, it just needs to be put to bed.
Yeah. Yeah. And who knows? Let's revisit these stats at the end of the season. And let's have an honest appraisal. Morgan Knowles over the next 10 or so weeks may well catch up and could well overtake those two. But so we'll be fair.
He's going to get nowhere near him.
But an injury to Asiata or a ban,
yeah, but
could
stop the season now. He's still getting nowhere near. I'm telling.
But you know what I mean. In the interest of fairness,
we should
do this again at the end of the season.
Well, that's great, but let me tell you, it's not going to make a blind bit of bloody difference. I'll tell you what, as if
I'm not saying it will.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's compare Morgan Knowles of last season, the dream team Morgan Knowles of last year, to John Asiata and Cameron Smith of 2024. Here it is. And there you go. 26 games. He only scored 3 tries and made 3. He only made 29 tackle busts in the full season. Asiata will beat that by the end of the season. Clean breaks, only 5. 24 tackles he got in the dream team. 5 offloads, 13 errors, only 7.4 carries a game and only 48 meters per game. Now, other people might say, well, yeah, but it's not all about stats. Absolutely, it's not all about stats. John Asiata and Cameron Smith, what they're doing for the Lee Leopards and Leeds Rhinos this season in terms of leading from the front, getting involved in the play. I mean, again, if we're not even talking stats, the way they are leading their team, what they're contributing to their team, batters Morgan Knowles.
And to play devil's advocate to that, though, St. Helens fans will say, you know, it could be because he's playing with allegedly a better standard of player around him. That's an argument to say it's good to use. That's being devil's advocate. And again, that's no disrespect to Leeds and Lee. That could be an argument that they may use.
Well, I mean,
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
I'm going to be devil's advocate back. If Saints want to be that, if Saints want to say something like that, John Asiata, he's playing in the best pack in Super League this year.
And there you go.
Simple as.
Answered the question.
Yeah, simple as. But yeah, I think, you know, for me, you know, if we get to the end of this season like we did last, and Morgan Knowles is in that dream team, corruption has to be said. I'm sorry.
Well, it should have been either Luke Yates or Westerman last
Westerman last year. Battered him last year.
Westerman, all day long, Westerman. Yeah, I don't. We've spoke about this at length. How certain players seem to have the eye of journalists and of Sky, and are outshone in the same position by players from other teams. I think, you know what? It's not just our sport, though. You do get it in other sports.
You do, mate. You do.
But it's just, and we've got to reiterate, we have got nothing personal against Morgan Knowles, so please don't send him round.
Morgan Knowles is a quality player. However, he is being touted about by journalists in the media to be something at this moment in time. His rugby league is not back up. He's still a quality player. Don't get me wrong, a quality player. He'd walk into many Super League teams. Leeds fans wouldn't have him. Lee fans wouldn't have him. But there's other teams in Super League who would.
I agree. No, but that's really interesting stuff, especially the last season stats. It's one of life's great mysteries, Dave.
So there you go. That's one for Steph. And actually, you know, it says a lot about Steph's rugby league acumen that he's already said, wow, in terms of Cameron Smith. Of course, he'll have seen Asiata all season. You know, he's the first to put his hand up. He doesn't.
Well, we did say when Cameron Smith didn't get in the England squad, how does he not get in the England squad? We both said that at the time.
Mate, travesty. He has to be. And again, mate, if Morgan Knowles plays Tonga at the end of the season over Cameron Smith, oh my word, what is going on?
Yeah.
Because Smith there, you know, he's just, I mean, that is just incredible numbers. They're incredible numbers. After 18 rounds, what's that going to look like by the end of the campaign? Absolutely outstanding.
I agree with you. I agree.
Outstanding.
And yet, out of those 3, and again, no disrespect to the teams, who would be the more likely you would say would get a grand final winners medal at the end of it?
I'll tell you what, mate. I'll tell you what, and they won't like me for saying this. Beware of the Leopards.
No, you've cursed them now.
unless I'll tell you, unless injuries strike, the way that team is playing, and this is it. They're not playing as individuals. A great quote from Rowan Smith after the game this week referenced Ash Handley. He said about Ash Handley, he plays for the name on the front of the shirt, not the name on the back of it. What a great quote that was. And that could be said for every Leopards player this year. It's a collective effort.
I agree.
I'll tell you now, a couple of Leaf fans got a bit jittery after In the Sheds. In fact, some got goosebumps because I actually said on In the Sheds, can the Lee Leopards go into that semi-final top of Super League? Saints play Catalan this weekend. Lee plays Salford. There's only about 30 plus points between Catalan and Lee. A big loss for Catalan, a decent win for Lee, and by the time they go and face Saints in the Challenge Cup, and thank you as well to the Rugby Football League and Super League on behalf of the Lee Leopards. Saints play on Thursday, Lee play on a Sunday. Fantastic. Nothing like equilibrium, is there?
Always
the same. But yeah, I would love it in a Kevin Keegan kind of way if Lee were top of Super League this time next week. I'll be in sunny Spain. There will not be a Super League Raw weekly to that. I think we're recording it on Monday, I think.
Yes.
So we won't know. Obviously, we'll put it out. We're debating if we're going live Monday or if we're just going to put it out on Tuesday as a pre-recorded show. One way or the other, we'll get there. And then we're having a week off. So if Lee were to go through in the Challenge Cup, Steph needs to make good on his promise to get as a special guest for the week after. You know who we're talking about, Mr. Sale. Right, okay. Let's get into the Fantasy League. Here it is. There he is. This is Ryan's moment again. Cementing his position. He's still very comfortably there, but a big shout out to Peter Mooney. Peter Mooney last week scored 690 points on the week.
Wow.
So well done to Peter. But Ryan, still in the lead. Before we get to the highlights, as we always do, this time you have got the screen. Let's take a look at the round 18 top performers. Here they come. So great to see some different type of names in this week's top performance. Congratulations to each one of them. Some massive numbers in there. One Mr. Lafire with 13 tackle bust. Ouch. Right.
Mr. McGilvery in there as well. Do we know if Freddie's made it back home safe?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, Freddie's actually in the chat. He's still away, but he's watching us. I don't think he's slept since the weekend. I think he's probably still on the lash, but fair play to the man. Fair play to him. Right, it all started at the Halliwell Jones Stadium on Thursday night. An absolute epic. I mean, it's as close to probably of a game, no doubt about that. Started off well here by Percival. It was a privilege to actually watch this one.
It was a great game.
It was a great game. 1,500 Super League points now for Stefan Ratchford. LMS, don't particularly like LMS. I don't think many people outside of St. Helens do. But 420 appearances now for LMS, 9th in the all-time list.
Yeah, that's weak defence from Warrington there. Very weak defence.
It is. Yeah.
Clark was phenomenal.
I'll tell you what his best game for Warrington. Drinkwater. His kicking game was spot on. He had his best kicking game by far on Thursday night. Did Drinkwater.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, St. Helens did what St. Helens did. He stayed in the grind. You know, they're a champion team. You can't argue the fact.
It's what champions do, I'm afraid. It's what champion teams do. And it's what other teams have got to learn to do. They've got to get that mentality that when they're well in the lead with 10 minutes to go, not get the mentality that you're not going to score against. So this is unbelievable.
It is a shocker. I mean, when you consider how many borderline forward passes have been given this season,
when you consider the try we had disallowed against Wigan in the cup for one that wasn't half as forward as that,
I mean, this here now. I mean, I'm sorry, but
look,
that's a mile forward.
That is NRL quarterback quality, that pass.
But as a Warrington fan, if that's the try that wins them the match, I'm absolutely livid. We go 20 points to 12 up in this game.
Exactly.
And that's why, for me, yes, it's forward. There's no real sour grapes. At 20 points to 12, Warrington had the game in the palm of the hand, and they let it go. And you know, you've just got to accept that fact as a Warrington fan.
I agree 100%. Having reflected on the game and thinking about it, you know, I was quite annoyed, to say the least, that pass was allowed to go. But as I said, you're 20-12 up. You've scored 2 great tries to get back into the game and to lead. You have to have the mental strength to stick at it and to keep the opposition out. I've fair play to Saints. That's why they're going for the 5th consecutive championship, because they've got that mental strength.
Yeah,
as have Wigan, as have Leeds. You know, that it doesn't matter how badly those 3 teams play in the before the playoffs. It's that mentality that gets them through to the grand finals.
And here it is again.
This is a great try.
You could watch this time and time again. I mean, the support, everything about it. I mean, look at that there, though. Loads to do. And I mean, that's Percival. Percival's not slow.
That is
just put the afterburners on and left him in his way.
I'd love to clock how fast Dufty was going there.
He's rapid, mate.
I mean, Jack Smith did his best to take him out as well, but you know,
mate, this is just
quality.
Rugby league of the highest quality. It really is.
Yeah. And we need to see more of this at Halliwell Jones, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
That's
a lovely try.
You know, Dow Powell said playing like that will win the grand final. Well, I think first of all, we need to start winning more games before we can even think of that.
I think you know, Warrington have got massive players on the horizon coming back. Cassiano Harrison back this week, as William should be. Nicholson will be back for Wakefield. So Warrington are getting the troops back. It's been a tough run of fixtures. They've been doing it tough in the middle. I'm not worried about the top 6 where
that's weak tackling as well. Again, you know, that's
great. But again, equally, as much as Warrington's was a wild try, that's just great rugby league again. I mean, there's no way Lomax shouldn't get through there. Not get through there.
Who missed him there? Was it?
It was actually Philbin.
Yeah, I thought it was Philbin.
But Curry, to be fair, should have had him. If we actually go back, you watch Benny Curry here. If he had his time again, Benny Curry would want to do better. I know he's coming from the play the ball, but Curry here, look, he waits, he lets him go.
Oh yeah,
he's got to commit there. He's got to commit there. But look, it's life. It's in the record books. This next one, you know, again, credit champion team. They know what they're doing. Alex Walmsley running at Holroyd and running at Green. He leaves them both on the backsides, gets up, quick play the ball. Warrington don't recover. You'll see it here. You know, they put him on the 2 kids. Fair play to the 2 kids. They brought him down, but there you go. Not square. We're in trouble. You know, and that's a big problem. I mean, again, there, Matautia again.
It's just.
I mean, I'm not being funny. The thing about Matautia with me, I don't know about you, but every time he goes into a tackle like that, I expect him to come out dressed as Superman. Didn't Clark Kent go do a little turn in
it was Wonder Woman. It was Wonder Woman.
It was Hotel Superman 1 when he goes into the hotel foyer as Clark Kent and he does the little spin in the door, and then he comes back as doesn't he, as Superman. As Superman. That's what I expect every time I see Matautia go into a tackle. Matautia come out with a cape. Anyway, that's
probably worse. He could come out as Wonder Woman.
Well, the Albert Goldthorpe medal. Here we go. Greg said he would marry Tim Lafay try at the MKM Stadium. So where does that? Well, funny enough, Ian, we were talking about that before we come on air. Greg did say, and I agree, it's up there as a contender for try of the season. But straight away, what come to mind was the Lafay try at the MKM for both of us.
Can I answer that question? Can I answer that question?
Mate. Which one's better?
I am divorcing Tim Lafay's try and marrying Dufty's.
Fair play. I think both were very
good. Joking aside, they were both fantastic tries. Yeah.
They were indeed. The Albert Goldthorpe 3 for Johnny Lomax. no arguments. 2 for Wellesby. And 1 for Ashton. I think Ashton's fortunate there. I think Duffy on the night
I thought Duffy would have got a point there. Yeah,
I think he was our best.
I thought Ben Curry was unlucky not to get a point. If I'm being totally honest with you, I thought that was by far his best game in quite a while. Ben Curry.
Yeah, I think Duffy very unfortunate.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the Warrington game. Now we go on to the Be the Rule Brigade. The Lee Leopards went, of course, to the Casford Tigers and really put on a spectacle, especially in the opening 20. I mean, 3 very, very smartly taken tries. And fair play to Castleford. Instead, here he is, the big fella. There goes Tom. Bang, over you go. Very reminiscent of the McKaylee try.
Yes.
Castleford earlier in the season.
Yeah.
Look at this.
They're sometimes shocking close to the line, Castleford.
Here we go. Watch this.
Yeah.
This is a try of absolute quality again. I mean, like we say about Asiata, look at this here. Little short ball. Then he gets the ball back. I mean, that's just quality rugby league. It really is.
And it's quality loose forward play down the middle.
It is.
You know, your loose forward sometimes has to be as skillful as your halfbacks. And he showed it there.
Yeah. And then Tom Briscoe, he's having a decent. I mean, Briscoe, Charlie's doing what Charlie's doing, and I get that. But Tom Briscoe, that's 11 tries now in 18 games with Briscoe this season.
Yeah. Charlie got 2 in this one, didn't he?
He did indeed, back to the top of the try scoring charts. Is our Joshua. But well done to. Good evening, Kevin. Kevin Ogden's just joined us. Good evening, Kev. I mean, all credit to Briscoe. He's doing a good job on the right edge, isn't he?
Oh yeah. Solid siding again. You've got nothing but praise for this lead team because they seem to be getting the best out of all the players in each position. And that was quite clever from Widdop.
And Dean, Riley Dean was the one with the grubber there.
Exactly.
Nice
little combination there. It's obviously something they've worked on at Warrington maybe in the past.
Possibly. I'm really pleased for Elliot Wallace, this young kid. I think it's 5 appearances now and 3 tries for Elliot Wallace. Not bad for him. 23 years of age. He's doing well, isn't he?
Yeah, one for the future. A bit like it's like they pulled Gary out of nowhere a couple of seasons ago, and I know he's gone on loan, hasn't he? But good to see young kids coming through and doing well. It really is.
And look at Charlie there. Yeah. Again, really nice, really nice. He's just put his body on the line, saying I'm going over. And then the final try from Lamb's a nice one as well. Lamb's second is equally as tasty. I want to see the.
How many tries would Charlie have scored if he hadn't gone to Union? Do you think?
Oh mate, he'd be top try scorer. He'd be top try scorer. I think there's no doubt. There's no doubt about that. Steve Carter's with us. Paul Borman there saying shame that we didn't see the 2 try-saving tackles in this one. He's right. Lee did have 2 phenomenal tackles in this game to save tries. I think Charlie was one of them as well.
Yeah, I was going to say Charlie was one of those.
Yeah, he's one of those as well. But I mean, look at this here from Lamb. Beautiful.
Just like a knife through butter.
Yeah, it's just beautiful. Really, really good. 3 points in this one went to Tom Amone, 2 for Josh Charlie, 1 for John Asiata. Can't really argue with the points for that game, I have to say.
No.
Right, we then move on to this little nugget. Hey, Wakefield Trinity. Who'd have seen this? Who sees this? 3 wins from the last 4. Castleford, watch your back.
Oh, mate, if I'm a Castleford fan and we know exactly how it feels to be in this position from last season, I would be very, very nervous. Especially as Warrington are going there in a couple of weeks. And no matter how well they're playing, always contrive to get beat at Wakefield.
I'd say I bet Lee Kershaw was happy that he scored that try because that's a woeful dummy that to be buying that one. I mean, I'm not being funny. That's he's got to have his wits about him to know that he can't be buying that one.
No. But a lot of we're seeing this game as well over the number of penalties and given and not given.
Yeah.
So I think the Salford Leeds one was quite controversial as well with penalties given and not given.
The Salford one there was a shepherding incident with Aletsky, and it was absolutely shocking. And the referee was right there.
Well, there was an off the ball hit as well that Leeds had got a penalty for. I think I get this right. They get the winning penalty off a late challenge, and then
no, they didn't. They kicked out in full.
Was that what it was?
That was the last kick. I think the kick before that, I think, was for a late challenge on the kicker.
Was it? Was that what it was?
But I think what I liked about Wakey, going back to Wakey in this one, is when you consider Wigan put 60 past Wakey early in the season. And Wakey went behind twice in this game, and twice they came back. Which again, I mean, that fair play to Marshall. That was just cheeky, absolutely cheeky. But Renna for Tony, we heard a lot about Tony just prior to the season starting, that he was ripping it up at Wakefield, and by God, did he have a good game on Friday night?
Yeah, outstanding. Yeah, great performance. Yeah. You know, they've made some astute signings. You've got to say that. Yeah. You know, they have recruited quite well. Go on.
Yeah. I'm going to pause this here, mate, because we're on about Castleford. Right, this would really worry me if I'm Castleford, and you know, if Andy and Sue's with us, I'll take your view on this. Oh, he says, as he, I don't know what happened there. We'll go back. Here we go. Let's go and find it. Here we go. Right, this is a forward. This is a prop forward chasing down a kick.
Yeah,
desire, commitment for the cause. Fields had an absolute mare. Look at that, lovely little dink through. He thinks he's really.
Oh yes, yeah.
That's a prop forward chasing down a high bomb.
Well, that props,
that says everything you need to know about where Wakefield's head's at the moment.
Exactly.
This was a good run from Mzemba. Look at this. I mean, fair play to Jowett.
That's a step. That was a step.
Yeah. I mean, they go in with King on the right edge now, but Junior Mzemba there, about 35, 38 metres.
He's a great prospect, this kid.
He is.
He really is a great prospect.
I mean, there's been a lot of talk over Harvey Hill, but for me at the moment, and what I've seen, Mzemba looks the player of the two for me.
Yeah, he's got, you know, I know quite a bit about the junior setup at Wigan, and they were hopeful that he would be a first team player for quite some considerable time.
Yeah.
So
really pleased for Will Dagger. You know, when Will Dagger, I mean, we mentioned him last week. You know, when he went to Wakefield, we said who got the better in the deal. Dagger, fair play to him, answering his critics really well in this one. The composure to knock the 2 points over on the in.
I tell you what, minute. It wasn't easy.
No,
because there was a lot of players putting pressure on him there. That was not an easy kick to get away.
No, it wasn't.
Seriously, wasn't.
And he's nailed it, and then of course he's nailed the drop goal, and that got him the 3 Albert Goldthorpe points for Dagger. And, again, no issue with that. Jai Fields, he got 2, and Liam Kate got 1. Felt for a Tony, I have to say.
I thought he played well.
I think a Tony was unlucky not to be recognised in the Goldthorpe medal list based on his performance in this one. But hey ho, but here it is. You know, we'll just end it here. That's
pause it there. That's creeping into the game a lot. The Union style jumping up at the kick.
Yeah, and walking forward.
Walking forward and jumping up. Look.
Yeah.
Who is it who jumps up? I think can't see who it was who jumps up.
Is it Singleton? Oh no, it's Mago.
Yeah, I mean, cut it out, lads. We're not Union.
We're not Union.
No,
absolutely. We're not indeed. We then go on, we then move forward to this little beauty, right? Joel Scholes and Freddie McGilvey, you're enjoying this. You know, I mean, fantastic win. I didn't see, did you see this? I didn't see this.
No.
Years.
Well, as much as I didn't see the Wakefield one coming, I didn't see this one either.
No.
And, you know, it's in a way, well, no, not in a way. It's great to see that anybody can beat anybody else on the day.
Is the salary cap starting to work?
Well, I was going to say that, yeah.
You know, this season, you just can't write this. I mean, look at this here from May. That's a lovely step. Let's see it again. That's an absolute beauty. Look at this. Yeah. From Tyrone May. Whoa, yes.
Sit down, son. Sit down.
Yes, Russell, isn't it? Oh, Ollie Russell there. You know what I mean? Deary me. It was like he was on one of those, you know, those things that kids play on at parties with the foam on it. It was like he was playing on that and not not on the grass.
I don't know what kids parties you've been to, Dave.
Well, probably. Hey, don't mix me up with a presenter, son. It's not me. Right? Okay, we move on. Move on. Just saying. Right? Okay, there's nothing to be seen here. Nothing to be seen here. Right, where are we on this game? 8 points to 6 now.
I'm just waiting for a phone call from the police, Dave. Just
No. Save your old houses, mate. Save your old houses. Lovely this. Look at this. Lolohea through the line. Oh, Chris McQueen.
Great
Beautiful.
try.
Yeah, that's a lovely try, that. That's a lovely try.
Showed some pace for second rower.
Mate, when I'm putting these together, the amount of times this week I sat back and just applauded.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, I can't remember a tries of the week compilation as good as this week's.
They are very few and far between.
They've been this week.
Yeah.
Some of the tries, and then you think of the ones that were left out.
Yeah,
and it's just like, oh.
But Chris Ashton's is a great interception.
You mean Matty Ashton?
Matty, yeah, it's Chris Ashton. Oh, he used to play for Wigan, didn't he? Yeah.
Mate, you got Union on the brain, mate.
I got
on the brain there.
That's Matty's dad, Chris. Yeah, Matty Ashton's try was a great intercept, but some great tries.
Yeah,
some great tries.
Outstanding stuff. So yeah, outstanding. I mean, like I say, you just can't fault the Huddersfield Giants. Nobody saw this coming.
I'd be interesting to, if anybody was there, like Freddie or anybody else, what was it like? There. That's what I mean. What was it like when you went over for this try? What was the feeling? I'd love to know that. After all the kind of the heartache they've had over the last few weeks with results, what did they feel like when they went over for that try?
Well, I mean, it's Christmas Day, isn't it? I mean, it really is. You know, Huddersfield this year, they've been really poor. We all had high hopes for.
And again, look, players walking forward at the kick.
Yeah, I mean, that was 4 losing games on the spin going into that for Huddersfield, and they come away. They come away with the win.
Yeah. When you consider they could and maybe should have beaten us as well in that run.
Yeah.
You know?
No, absolutely outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. For some reason, I didn't make a note of the Albert Goldthorpe for them. So I do apologise for that.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I can't remember. I'm pretty certain Lolohea does well out of it. McQueen's in there as well.
Yeah, McQueen was in there.
I think Nagama as well. I think it was Nagama, Lolohea and McQueen. I think McQueen got 3, as memory serves me right on that. But well done to the Huddersfield Giants. We now move on to the Hull derby. Not a classic.
It was a poor game.
This was good from Mikey Lewis. You know, very reminiscent of the Walmsley one earlier in the season. You know, good to keep his arm up and get it over to Walker. Walker's the other player that won't be featuring this weekend. He picked up a knock as well, I believe.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, Walker could be. I think I did make a note of the Walker injury.
He's out for a bit, I think. I'll tell you what. Not shown on the highlights too well, but apart from this one, Ethan Ryan, I think at least twice in the first half, banged Swifty into touch. I thought Jimmy Kinehorse, dearie me, I think in the space of about 5 minutes, he put 2 massive shots on. One was on Clifford, absolutely sensational. But Ryan in the first half, very nearly caught that one up, but Ryan in the first half was really solid on the right edge of the KR defence. He was really good.
KR are a little bit like Salford in the respect that they seem to get a lot of injuries each season, but seem to be able to fill those gaps quite well and still put a performance in. That's a great step.
It's phenomenal, mate.
Yeah.
I mean, that for me, I mean, again, I thought Fulises was good against Huddersfield in terms of the step that he put on. I think it was Price, but that is wonderful. That's wonderful.
Yeah. It's worth the admission for a step like that.
Yeah, really good from Swift. They'll miss him. I think they'll miss Swifter. I think they will really miss Adam Swift at Hull next year.
I'm surprised, but as we said at the top of the show, I'm sure Mr. Smith has got something in the pipeline.
10 in 16 for Swift. Steph Sale saying awesome try from Swift. Great signing for the Cowbell Army. Yeah, I think I wouldn't disagree with that. Bad shot.
That was a shocker. That was.
It was a bad shot. That was a bad shot. That you can't be doing that, Sean lad. You know you can't be doing that, Chief. Yeah, off he goes for 10.
Yeah,
not great. Well, yeah, Hull. You know, half time they came out a different team in the second half. Did FC really impressed? I say Swift turned the tide brilliantly well, and then. Liggy Sow, I mean, really, again, great
strength.
Great forward strike. You know, why did that go up to the screen?
I think he wanted to check the grounding, didn't he?
Said double movement.
I think double movement. But I think he
Yeah,
also
double
said
movement.
on the grounding.
Yeah,
It's quite clear it wasn't a double movement from seeing it. But I think he also said check the grounding if I'm not mistaken.
Well, Uncle Freddie was in touch because Jermaine McGilby went over against Catalan, and Jermaine said that it was not, it wasn't a double movement. All I would say is that the referee on that one was in prime position. So if
I've seen that.
He was in prime position. The ref, if he's miscalled that, then there's no hope, is there? There's no hope.
I did see that, and I've not seen any replays of it, but you certainly can't tell from watching it from the sidelines. I'm sure the Huddersfield fans would have had a better view than us. Yeah. But yeah, if he's called it wrong, then you really do have to
call it wrong. Yeah. It's this game that I didn't get the goal for medal for. I got it for the other one. 3 points for Russell. Yeah, 3 points for Russell, 2 for McQueen, 1 for Lola Heya. That was how the points went. And then the final game, and this was a belter. Some great tries in this one. Really tough, tight affair. Cam Smith, we've talked about him already on the show tonight. Watch this now from Smith. There he is, just lining himself up for first receiver. Here we go.
Yeah, that is.
Oh, it's lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely.
And not to beat the drum too loudly, but I can't remember Morgan Knowles scoring a try like that.
Well, I'm sure the Saints fans probably can.
I'm sure he has.
I'm sure he has.
It's not been on TV, point.
But Smith,
I can't remember seeing him score a try like that. I think most of Morgan Knowles is half from quite close range, running onto the ball from 10 yards out, from what I remember.
Well, he hasn't scored one this year, so when he posts one, then we might find out. In terms of,
that was nasty.
Nasty. Brodie Croft, 3 assists in this game, all with the boot. There's the first one for our Timmy. Over he goes. Beautiful stuff from Tim Lafay there. And this is the Ash Hanley one. Simple stuff. Nice.
Simple as.
Really like the Ken Seo one, I have to say.
He caught that well, didn't he?
He did.
It goes to the screen if it's on TV, because maybe suspicions he was in front of the kicker, but we don't have cameras at every game, so.
No. Well, hopefully the investment that's coming, hopefully we get a better TV deal, and hopefully that the sport can move on to that type of thing. That'd be wonderful.
Yeah, that'd be superb. It's what the sport needs.
I'm just trying to think. Who's he competing with? It's Milo, isn't it? Yeah, it's Milo.
Yeah,
sorry,
Milo,
Richard. I mean, to be fair, there. I mean, the friendly fire is a thing of absolute beauty. I mean, look at this here. Look at that. Hanley. It's like, mate, what did I do? What for done? What for done? Yeah. Oh, phenomenal! Take your mates out, why don't you?
Always let the guy running onto the ball through.
Yeah, absolutely, mate.
Especially if you've got the backs of the player that's coming through from the opposition.
You saw that in the cricket, didn't you?
Yeah.
The wicket keeper running and getting in the way, going for glory.
Yeah.
I don't actually know what started that brawl. I've watched this about 3 or 4 times. So just keep your eye on the scrum. I mean, Aledzki's up, and then all of a sudden they just go at him. I do not
drops down on him. Yeah.
Do not sure. Yeah, I don't know what that was. Based on the camera angle, I think Chris Atkin was a bit unlucky to be given 10 there. I, unless he's kicked out, I don't know. But it was a real. If anybody who's at the Salford game, then there
was a few Leeds players flying in there that should have gone to the bin as well.
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, Aledzki goes, doesn't he? Aledzki goes. He gave Aledzki's 10.
Yeah, but there was a few more should have gone for running in.
Yeah, no, I agree, mate. I agree. Don't quite. Hey, Matty Sales with us. Good evening, Matty.
Evening, sir.
Good to see you, sir. All the very, very best. He kicked out David Wakenshaw. Sorry, he kicked out by all accounts. Did Atkin? Thanks for that, David.
Fair play. Fair
dues.
We
didn't see that, so thanks for just clearing that one up for us. So, in terms of the Albert Goldthorpe medal for this one, 3 for Tim Lafay, 2 for Aidan Caesar, and 1 for Reece Martin. All I will say is thank you to our great athletes. What a sensational 6 games they were last week.
Probably the best round of the competition so far. I would
loved it.
I would say
it. Yeah, absolutely.
even if we did get beat, that was a great game on Friday.
Yeah,
a brilliant game for the neutrals to watch, if you can ever have neutrals when anybody's playing Warrington. But yeah, great weekend of rugby league.
Absolutely. So
It's time now to find out who's made our team of the week, ladies and gentlemen, for round number 16. Here it comes.
It's the Super League Raw Team of the Week for round number 18. Here we go again at fullback. Well, it's Jack Welsby. True genius. He's been in the right place at the right time, and Welsby was like Postman Jack, delivering 3 assists to take Saints up to 3rd in Super League at the HJ. And number 2, on debut for 2023, is Adam Swift. What a sensational break and sidestep to secure Hull FC's opening try to level the game and start the momentum for the Black and Whites to win the derby. 10 tries now for Adam this year. Well played. And number 3, Huddersfield's joint top try scorer Kevin Nagama opened the scoring in Perpignan to give the Giants confidence in a brilliant win against the league leaders. This grand final winner has still got plenty of game left in his legs. At 4, I wish I could score tries like Tim Lafay, but I can't. 2 more for the big fella against the Rhinos in defeat. 13 tackle busts is nothing more than colossal by any standards. Last year's dream teamer at it again. At number 5, 22 now for the season for Josh Charlie, taking over top spot once again in the duel with Tom Johnstone. Charlie is in the form of his life and our team of the week. For the 6th time this season, it won't be his last. Number 6, well, it could have easily been Johnny Lomax, but Will Dagger was the key to Wakefield getting the win over the Warriors. The bottle and composure to level the scores with his 5th kick from 5 was good, but his bullet drop goal was quality. And number 7, a man who has come in for lots of criticism, both home and away this season, was Magnifique in France. Toyle Olahoya led the Giants attack with some fantastic end product to make sure that the Giants got one of the shocks of the season. At number 8, oh, when the moon hits the sky and the leopards needs to try it, Simone. Oh, a big don't argue try and a line break of quality to set Asiato on his way to set up Lamb. What a beast of a player this man is. 166 metres now behind Paul Vaughan. Number 9, well, does the Hull derby mean more to any other player than Danny Houghton? This was arguably his best game of the season thus far, and the stats proving what a servant he has been. Welcome back to Team of the Week. At 10, on debut, is ready for Tony. What an unbelievable performance to put the Wigan cherry on top of a fabulous win for Trinity. Not only his try, but his desire to chase a kick, putting Field under enough pressure to show his football skills before scooping up an assist for Whitbread. And number 11, Huddersfield's other top try scorer and talisman second rower, Chris McQueen. Who'd have thought he was a draftsman? His line to support the La Jolla break was deserving of a try. Marvellous. And number 12, a player who continues to make his mark in 2023 is James Bell, another man who plays big minutes and turns up week in, week out on both sides of the ball. Is he going to be an international one day? Who knows? And finally, how do you sum up this man in 2023? Well, in the words of the great philosopher, Mr. William Shatner, here goes. It's his ship now. He's the top dog, the big man, numero uno on show, the head cheese. And one hell of a loose forward as well, John Asiata. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your team of the week for round number 18.
Nothing like a bit of airplane too coming into Super League Raw Weekly at the announcement of Team of the Week. There it is in all of its glory, Greg. Your thoughts on the Team of the Week?
I can forgive Dean Martin, but Orville.
Dean. Yeah, I'm trying.
But Orville.
Yeah, a bit of Orville. It's one of them, isn't it? The Dean Martin one. I'm trying to get the Leopards fans to take that. That's a great chant. It's a great chant.
I actually like
great chant. Come on, you Leopards fans. Well, you've got to be singing that on the terraces.
Salford fans, please don't sing Keith Harris and Orville. Please, please don't. Don't. I shall never frequent your ground again, even if you have got the best sausage rolls in Super League.
The best sausage rolls in
Super League. Going back to the real world. No issues with this team. Good to see some new faces. Good to see Chris McQueen back in. James Bell, has he played for Scotland? I'm not sure.
Does it matter in rugby league, mate? He could have played for.
I think he's Scottish. I think he's Scottish international, isn't he?
You can be an international in 5 different countries, mate. In Super League, in rugby league, it doesn't matter, does it? Doesn't really matter. I think for me, really, really good performances in there this week. And it is a duel. Obviously, the slide we showed a little bit earlier on tonight, shows probably Cameron Smith is overall having the better season of the two. But
Cameron
know,
Smith has had. I agree, but Cameron Smith has, when you think about it, has had 2 or 3 seasons to get up to speed.
Good shout.
In Super League. Asiata, first time in Super League. And does not look out of place. Would look good in any Super League team.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, this is the table. And like I say, look at that there. The Catalan Dragons 184 is there. So by my reckoning, what we're talking there, Greg, 37. So 37
yes, I think so.
Points. So, when you consider Catalan are playing Saints, 15 points there. Is it conceivable that Leigh could go to Salford? I mean, don't get me wrong, Salford have beaten Leigh twice this season, so let's not get too giddy, fans. But there is a possibility that by the end of this week, Leigh Leopards could be top of Super League, and who would have thought that?
Well, and Salford have got a few injuries.
They have indeed.
If I'm not mistaken, haven't Leigh got a clean bill of health?
I've not heard of any Leigh
no suspensions. No, certainly no injuries.
No.
So, Leigh with a clean bill of health, Salford again with a few injury problems.
Yeah. Now, Steph's quite right there to point out that Asiata, of course, won a grand final in the NRL before he came across.
He did, but NRL, Super League, it can be difficult to adjust, as we've seen with a few players who've come over from Australia. But yeah, that's a fair point. Fair point.
I think for me, I mean, there was so much surrounding Ipape at the start of the season. The pleasantest surprise I've had in Super League this season is John Asiata. I think he's been, and probably Lachlan Lamb as well. I think both of them two.
I think Amone has been outstanding as well.
I know Amone, Kyle. Don't want man about. There's too many to pick, isn't there? There's just too many to pick.
I'm just buying a Leigh shirt next season and be done with it.
Yeah, it's just fair play to him, mate. Fair play to him. Good luck to him.
When we had our pre-season preview over a couple of weeks, neither of us.
No.
And I think if Leigh fans are honest, neither could they see Leigh Leopards being as high as second in the league.
No.
With 18 games gone.
No. It's enjoy the ride. Dare I say Leicester City?
Well, the first three letters are the same.
Mate, the way they are playing, anything is possible. Anything is possible at this moment in time. Look at the bottom. Wakefield Trinity still a big points difference, 304 minus 248. But there's a big settler coming up. Wakey against Cass on the 18th of August. That's a massive swing both ways coming up there.
It's
I think Huddersfield are fine. They're fine. It's between Cass and Wakey for me.
I think so. Yeah.
And if I'm Castleford, let's just say it as it is. Wakefield are in the better form.
Yeah.
It's squeaky bum time.
It is.
It really is. Right, here comes the prediction week, and look at that. Yes, a great week for Greg.
Wow.
Points last week for Greg. Congratulations, sir. That brings you up to second now. The Fans Forum had another poor week by their high standards with 11. I got 12, and Gary Schofield got 8. So we made it interesting this week putting Schofield in, but I can't recall it being as tight as it's been over the 3 years we've done it. I think it's really tight.
Well, I'm usually well adrift at the bottom by now, so I'm quite happy. I'm the Leigh Leopards of the prediction league, so I'm quite happy with that. I mean, I think what Saints let me down, and Wakefield let me down. I think I got most of the others right.
So where you lost your points, obviously Wakey, you went Catalan.
Catalan,
Catalan.
I had 18 plus Saints as well, I think.
Yeah, and I think you did. Yeah, you went 18 plus Saints. But yeah, I mean, look, fair play to you, mate. You've had a couple of good weeks now, to be fair, the last 2 weeks. So, long may that continue for you, sir. You're right in the game. Right, well, it's now time to, dear me, already 10 past. It's great, isn't it? It's always going to be a good one, this one tonight.
Yeah.
Plenty of juicy things to be talking about. Right, I think this is the first time this has happened, but the game of the week is on Thursday night, so let's do game of the week. Here it comes. So there it is, the game of the week for round number 19. It had to be first against third. I can't believe I'm saying this. Who would have thought that St Helens were in with a shout of winning the League Leaders Shield 7 weeks ago? But unbelievably, Saints are on a great run of form. They're bringing it back. And yeah, this is going to be, well, I think it's going to tell us a lot about both teams. This is going to tell us a lot about both sides, one way or the other.
I agree. Yeah.
Curtis Sivernon back is expected. Dan Norman in contention and returned from his 2-week loan at Lee. Lewis Baxter and T. Ritson out of the squad. Let's take a look at the squads. There they come. As for Steve McNamara, they were without Mitchell Pearce. They were out without Mitchell Pearce and Sam Tompkins last week. They are back. But bad news for the Catalan Dragons. Artur Morg out. That's a massive blow.
Huge blow.
Dragons going into this one.
Huge blow. I mean, Tompkins will probably slot into that role, but
yeah,
the way Morg has been playing this season,
yeah,
that for me is the game changer as far as I'm concerned. That gives Saints a massive advantage. Yeah, I mean the packs are quite evenly matched, I think. But I think Davis and Kieran might be useful, but I think the Morg is the big one as far as I'm concerned.
It's a big blow. What I would say on this though, Challenge Cup. Saints have got the Challenge Cup semi-final the week after. Does that have a bearing on this result? Could that play into Catalan's hands a little bit?
It's a good question, but I think this is Saints, and judging by the squad they've got there, they are going to, unless they kind of pick from the higher end of the squad. I think Saints will want a strong performance going into the semi-final.
So where are you going, mate?
I am going with Saints, and I'm going 9-17 Saints.
Yeah, you're going along with Mr. Schofield on that occasion then.
Yeah, I think they've just, there's been some great games, and Catalan have won occasionally at Saints in the past, but Saints are on a roll. Saints have got that mindset now that takes teams to grand finals and to Challenge Cup finals, I think. So I'm going Saints 9-17.
Yeah, I'm going the same. The fans forum see it a bit closer. They're going Saints 1-8, but everybody going the way of St Helens. In the chat live this evening, a lot of love for Saints. Steph Sales sees it Saints by 60. I think he's having a bit of a play there. Ryan Birch, Saints 9-17. Has anybody gone Catalan? No, nobody's gone Catalan. Everybody.
So that'd be Catalan by 18 plus.
Yeah, we'll all be wrong. We'll all be wrong. But there you go. Right, moving on to the next game on Friday, the Huddersfield Giants taking on Wakefield. I mean, this is another one, isn't it? I mean, wow. I mean, great win for Huddersfield. But the thing about Huddersfield also, I mean, Huddersfield this season, they have backed up. They backed up earlier in the season. They beat Trinity and then they beat Castleford. When these met earlier in the campaign, though, remember, at Wakefield, it was only 8-0. It was only 8-0. Long time ago, that. But that was the score back in the day. Oh, God, this is a tough one. Well, both the Fans Forum and Schofield have gone Wakey. Fans Forum 1-8, Gary Schofield 9-17. No love for Huddersfield. I believe Huddersfield as well are going to be out. I think Sam Hewitt's injured. I think Chris Hill's doubtful.
Yes, I think Chris Hill is doubtful. I've got down here Hill could miss it.
Yeah, Hill doubtful.
Yeah. Do you know this is
it's a belt, isn't it? I mean,
I think what will swing this is that it's all very well backing up wins, but backing up when you've been to France and won, as happened to Warrington twice.
Yeah, good counsel, yeah.
And I'm gonna go. I'm sorry, my friends from Huddersfield, but I'm gonna go Wakefield as well. I think Wakefield have got the bit between the teeth. It's always difficult to back up coming back from France when you've lost, never mind when you've won. And I'm going Wakey 1-8.
You're
Sorry.
going the way of the forum. They've seen
Yeah.
Wakey on to. I'm
Yeah,
going 90-17. The reason I'm going 90-17 on this one is if Hill is out, the fact that Whitbread's back, I'm a massive fan of Jai Whitbread. You know, Tony was quality last week. I think we haven't mentioned it tonight, but I mean, I was actually speaking to Darryl Powell on Saturday and I mentioned David Fafita and I said, what a masterstroke that is. And he just looked at me and went, could be the biggest signing of the season.
Yeah. Well done, Darryl. Well done, Darryl. And Josh Griffin as well.
Well, Griffin as well. Yeah, he's going to be in the mix as well. So I think, you know, I think Wakey, they've got the bit between the teeth. They're ready. Sorry, Cass, but I think at the end of this weekend, you're in serious.
And what do you think? Wakey have got Warrington the week after, who, as I've said countless times, Warrington have a great knack of snatching defeat from the jaws of victory at Wakefield. It's it's really worrying times for Castleford.
Very much so, mate. Very much so. So as none of us are going back and say any love for Huddersfield in the chat. Yeah, Dale Robb saying 6-10 to Huddersfield. Alan Clegg 8 to Huddersfield. We've got Paul Sanderson saying 12 to the Giants. Kevin Ogden 9-17 to the Giants. Graham Parrish, Huddersfield by 10. So quite a lot. Golden point by Huddersfield. Steffi's saying so. There's quite a lot of love for Huddersfield in the chat.
This could be one of those games where Huddersfield put 40 past them.
Yeah.
It's that type of game.
It's bonkers,
that type of season.
Mate, the season's bonkers, mate.
Wakefield could put 40 past Huddersfield. I can't see it myself.
No, I can't.
But I've gone for Wakey, but I would not be surprised if Huddersfield absolutely smashed them off the park. Like I say, it's been that kind of season.
It's been that kind of season. Then we go to Headingley on Friday night. Leeds, for the first time, have gone 3 wins in a row. First time they've done that this season. They've had two doubles, but they haven't done a treble in terms of wins. They did that.
Yeah.
They've done that now. So that's boding well for them. As for Hull KR, take away the Wakefield 28-12 win. In the last 7, they've lost 6. Obviously, we're not taking into account the Challenge Cup when we say that. So one team, I mean, Schneider's in, of course.
Yeah.
Mentioned that for Mikey Lewis out, Walker out. So we'd expect even Ryan maybe to deputise at fullback for the Robins. Lynette won't play for HIA protocol reasons as well.
Lynette's out,
So that's a blow to have lost Lynette. So I think, Hull KR are down on troops as it is. They're even further down on troops, and they're going to a Leeds team that at this moment in time are in great form. The fans forum, they see Leeds 1-8. Gary Schofield sees Leeds 9-17. Live in the chat, we have yet to have anybody back KR, mate. Where are you going?
Yeah, I said earlier that KR are one of those teams, last couple of seasons, they seem to be able to bring players in when it looks like they're pretty threadbare who perform. Schneider will be a big plus, I hope, for them.
Yeah, he will, yeah.
He could probably take a few games to settle in.
Yeah.
Rhinos on a roll. I'm going 18 plus Rhinos.
I have, mate. And I've done that for the pure reason of the absence, because Minchella's out as well. So Minchella's gone.
Minchella's a big player.
Minchella's gone. But I think they'll save Batchelor's return for the... And that's the other reason why I'm going 18 plus. I think KR will have one eye on the Challenge Cup. The best chance the Robins have got for silverware this season is the Challenge Cup. And I think that they will potentially squander this one.
They're not in any great relegation danger yet.
They're just... Yeah, I think for the sake of the game, and they can afford to lose this one, and they're still in the fight for the 6.
Yeah.
I think Leeds will win this one comfortably. And thankfully it's not on the telly. What is on the telly is this one. Could have easily, could have easily have been another game of the week, but I think there's no doubt where that one was. That's at the Totally Wicked on Thursday. Wigan, Warrington again. Wigan have got that semi-final of the Challenge Cup to look forward to. Warrington have got bodies back. Harrison Cassiano will be back for this one for Warrington. Williams expected to return. Not confirmed yet. Still a little bit of doubt, but expected that Williams would return for this one. Josh Fulis is expected to be in the mix. That said, I didn't think Russell had a bad game against Saints. I think Russell has done.
I thought Matty Russell was outstanding.
Yeah,
he was as soon as I had my head in my hands when I saw him and Minikin on the on the edge. Fair play to the pair of them. They shut me up. Let's put it that way.
Wigan, both of these two teams will be bruised. Probably more so Wigan than Warrington. And Wigan's pride will have been dented, regardless of how well Wakefield played. Going to Wakefield and losing, they won't be happy about that.
No.
Warrington, an improvement against Saints. Hopefully, with the troops back, can improve again. Again, very similar to what we've been saying about that looming large, the Challenge Cup semi-final. It could have a bearing, it might not have a bearing. Fans Forum gone Wigan 1-8. Gary Schofield gone Wigan 9-17. A couple in the chat going the way of Warrington. Matthew Sale 9-17. Wire. Graham Parrish saying Warrington by 8. Steph Sales going Wire as well 9-17. Paul Sanderson Warrington by 8. So bit either way. Couple Wigan as well in the chat there. I think it should be tight. I think it will be tight. Question is, mate, which way are you going?
Like I say, this is going to be. It could go one of two ways. It's either going to be a tight game or a blowout to either side. I know Warrington probably had one of the best performances of the season on Friday. There's no doubt about that in defeat.
I agree.
Wigan will be bruised. My only fear is that every time Warrington put performance in like that against Saints, they go on a losing streak. It seems to take so much out of the tank. Yes, we got bodies back, but I'm going Wigan 9-17. I'd be interesting to see the Wigan squad and whether it's a squad that has got the semi-final in mind. But it's the St Helens factor for me, and the fact that whenever Warrington put a performance like that up against Saints, and especially if they lose, they tend to lose the next couple of games.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I'm going Wyatt. I'm going against you all. I think the fact that Warrington lost that quarter-final, they'll still be hurting from that. I did see an improvement last week from Warrington. I think the Challenge Cup will be a distraction for the cup holders, Wigan. And I'm going Warrington 9-17.
I hope you're right.
I'm going against you. I'm going to go against you.
Sir.
Going against you. Right, then we go to the MKM and two returning players, of course, for both sides here. Jake Truman going up against his former side. Joe Westerman returning to the MKM Stadium, as you can see there in the Graphico. Last time these two met, dear me, seems a long time ago now, it was the opening round of Super League, and it was a belter as well at the MKM. Castleford lost it 32 points to 30. What a great game.
I remember that game. It's fantastic.
Great start to the season. Really, really close. Who'd have thought that Castleford then, the season had gone the way it went for Cass. Wasn't
Hulk winning that by quite a lot as well, and Castleford came back. I seem to remember.
Back. Yeah, it was second half comeback. Yeah. They had it. They had it in the pocket. They got off to a flyer in that Hull FC. Clifford and Hoy on debut, and both of them were outstanding that day. And then surely Castleford brought themselves back into the game. No love for Castleford, though, at this point in the season. The Fans Forum and Schofield both going Hull FC by 18 plus. I don't see it that big. I'm going 9-17 to FC. I don't see it as an 18 pluser. Where do you see it, mate?
I see Hull 18 plus. I'm not going to beat around the bush on this one. So again, by 18 or more, yeah.
So again, I'm going slightly away from you on that one. Hull, a lot of love for Hull. No Cass at all in the chat at all. The scores ranging pretty much from 9-17 to 18 plus, with the majority going more 18 plus. And then, you know what? I'm absolutely gutted that I am working on Sunday evening, because if I wasn't, I would be at this game. Genuinely, I would get in my car and I would go to the Salford Community Stadium and I would watch this game. I think this game will be a little belter. I really, really do. Salford, like we've said, I'm sorry, Leigh fans, I'm going to reiterate it for you. I do apologise. Twice, they have gone to the Leopards then and come away with 2 points, 20 points to 10 and 22 points to 20. Two incredibly close games on both occasions. Is this the moment that Lee get a bit of retribution? The Fans Forum and Schofield believe it will be with a Lee Leopards 9-17 win. However, I go back to it. The Challenge Cup looms large and they have not got the turnaround that Saints have got. Does that play into Salford's hands?
I think on this occasion, yes, I do.
Yeah.
You know, Wigan Saints have been in semi-finals before. I think Hull KR have been in a semi-final recently, got to Wembley. I think Lee will prioritise the semi-final. And that could very well play into Salford's hands. I think it will. I would have, if my daughter wasn't playing against Wigan on Sunday, I think I'd have popped down to this one as well. But yeah, I think Salford 9-17.
We're going big.
Yeah. Sorry, Lee fans. You know it's nothing personal.
No, I can't bring myself to back against Lee. I'm going to go with him, but I'm going to go tight 1-8. I think the first two games have been really, really close. I think this one will be as well, but I'm just going to give it to the Leopards. Graham Parrish sees it Salford by 10. He's with you, mate. Lewis Boardman, Lee 18. Third time lucky for Lee, says Paul Sanderson. Greg's semi-final ticket has just gone in the bin.
I couldn't go anyway.
Outstanding. But yeah, no, outstanding stuff. But yeah, Lee, most people go in the way of Lee in that one. But yeah, I mean, wow. Should be a belter. Well worth getting to. If you're in and around Greater Manchester on Sunday and nothing better to do, get yourself down to watch that one. If you're an armchair supporter, well, you've got a Feast of Rugby League this week on Sky starting tomorrow. Yes, it's dead rubber. It's not going to swing the series to the Blues, but yeah, it's still going to be an epic game. New South Wales taking on Queensland in the morning, 11:05. Coverage starts at 10. Watch a little bit of State of Origin. Then on Thursday, we see St Helens take on the Catalan Dragons again, a must-watch game. That's going to be intriguing. Warrington then take on Wigan at the DW. Again, intriguing. Saturday morning, the Sydney Roosters take on the Melbourne Storm. Always a classic in any season, that one. Then on Sunday, the Dolphins, back to winning ways last week. They take on the Penrith Panthers. And then Joey Lusic's supposed new team. I don't think it's going to happen, though. The Parramatta Eels take on the Gold Coast Titan, a double header there Sunday morning. Let the wife watch Mr. Rimmer on Channel 4 and escape, I say that, in the Wilson household and in the Sale household. Who watches Sunday brunch? Get the Rugby League on.
Exactly.
It's a family affair. Fantastic stuff. Well, mate, another week is in the records books. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks everybody for getting involved in the chat. Really appreciate that. Just to bring you up to speed, so next week we will be on. We might not be live, but we will be on. The week after we're not on because I'm away. I'm off. So I'm going to have a week off. Obviously, it's Challenge Cup week, so it doesn't really matter too much in that respect. However, the predictions will go out on the Sunday as normal. So make sure you get involved in the predictions for what will it be? Be round 21, won't it? Is the season going?
It's nearly over. It's nearly over.
And if all goes well for the Lee Leopards, who knows? We might have Steph Sale and hopefully a guest on when we come back after round number 21, which will be absolutely marvellous. Greg, final word, sir.
A pleasure as always. Can I just say hello to Matthew and Ron if they're watching? And it's been an absolute pleasure.
It has indeed. And do you know what? This is what. Do you know what? We've met a few lovely people by doing this show, but Steph Sale has just gone up again in my estimation. He's just put in the chat happy anniversary to Mrs. Sale, 15 years, and he spent his anniversary evening with us. What a legend, an absolute legend. Oh, you can't knock the man. Outstanding stuff. Wonderful. As always, we're going to go out with the top performers. A couple of changes yet again, some great numbers in here as well. Look after yourselves, get down to see some rugby league over the weekend.
Indeed.
And we'll be back next week. All the best, everybody. Take care.
See you, everyone. Happy anniversary, Sale.
Bye.